To nobody's surprise, the Celtics won the NBA Finals this year. Today, we're going to be going over why the Celtics won and how the Mavericks lost the NBA Finals. Now, going back to the Mavericks' earlier rounds in the playoffs this year, in the second round, the Mavericks went to 6 games against the Thunder. In this series, we started to notice how the Thunder, coming off of all the hype of being the youngest ever first seed and sweeping the Pelicans in the first round, can be beaten by a team with much more playoff experience. Now, in Game 6 of the Mavericks-Thunder series, towards the end of the game as the clock wound down, the score was a 1-point difference in favor of the Thunder, 116 to 115. P.J. Washington, with 2.5 seconds left on the game clock, chucks up a 3 in the corner as SGA closes out his shot. After the shot, the refs call a foul on SGA, even though you can see his hand touch the ball first and then graze P.J. Washington's arm. The refs will reward P.J. Washington with 2 free throws, which brings the score to 117 to 116 in the Mavericks' favor. With about 2 seconds left, the Mavericks do not let the Thunder get a shot off in the last second of the game. That one foul call could have stopped the series from going to Game 7, where the Thunder may have been able to win. This series is one of the first series where we see the refs make calls that could have changed the outcome of the Mavericks' playoff run. Moving into the conference finals, the Mavericks play the Timberwolves and had won in 5 games. But now looking at the stats of the series, the Mavericks got about twice as many free throws as the Timberwolves. In this series, we started to realize Luka's Oscar-winning flopping performance, which puts him up with the great actors such as Lebanon James, James Harden, and Joel Embiid. This year's nominees for Best Actor include Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, James Harden, and LeBron James. And the award for Best Actor goes to Luka Doncic. Now, if you look at the series, all the games had a single-digit point difference, except for one game. I am curious if it would have turned out differently if the Timberwolves roster wasn't always in foul trouble. Somehow, the Timberwolves beat the refs and the Nuggets in the conference semifinals in 7 games. So they may have been able to beat the Mavericks if the refs were much more fair. Now, finally, looking into the NBA Finals, the Mavericks were able to steal a game after the Celtics got up 3-0. Even though the Mavericks are better at three-point shooting in this series, the Celtics have been leading in shot efficiency and offensive rebounds. Those two stats have a huge impact on the game, as shooting efficiency is self-explanatory, but then offensive rebounds are so great to help your team, as they're a second chance of scoring in your possession. Also, the Celtics starting 5, when healthy, could be all All-Stars. Then you look at the Mavericks, and you have a chubby Oscar-winning actor, a short guard with great handles, a center whose 20-year-old backup gets much more attention than him. Then, on the other hand, the Celtics, you have a professional at tying ties, a finals MVP without a left hand, and a center who is never healthy. In this finals series, the refs finally started calling fouls on Luka. He even fouled out of the 3rd game of the series. Some people may say the refs were biased against Luka in the finals, but the refs were pretty fair. And looking at the stats, the refs had actually awarded the Mavericks with more free throws than the Celtics. In the Celtics playoff run, they may have had one of the easiest playoff runs ever, starting by beating the Heat in 5 games while Jimmy Butler was injured, then playing the Cavaliers without their star point guard, Donovan Mitchell, finally sweeping the Pacers in the conference finals without Halliburton. If we look further back to last summer, to a trade that may have made the Celtics champions. Last year, Damian Lillard was the main target in the trade market. He was eventually traded to the Bucks for Drew Holiday. Holiday was then quickly traded to the Celtics. And if you look at the Celtics, In the past few years, they have lost in the finals to the Warriors and lost in the conference finals to the Heat. The Celtics have kept making it far in the playoffs, but they never had what it took to go all the way. Drew Holiday was that missing piece that made the Celtics the only 60-win team this year and the 2024 NBA champions. Thank you for listening to my take on the 2024 NBA Finals. Have a good day. Remember to leave a like and subscribe.